Welcome to my humble live. Here we are in front of the Alcázar de Colón. See that there? The house built by Christopher Columbus's sons. House lived in by Christopher Columbus's family. The first colonial city of the Americas. The starting point for Project America, Americana, a whole continent reshaped, remodeled. A band of men, a band of guys got on a block of wood, sailed 6 weeks through the ocean. No promise of survival, no promise of anything. Likely result, death. And yet, some of them beat the odds. They got here, the Americas, Europe piled in, and the rest is history. So what a beautiful place for me to do today's live. And the topic of today's live is dark masculine values. Hence the sunglasses. So, this was on my mind today after just some events yesterday that just reminded me of the importance of dark masculine values. And these are values that are not emphasized in the West. In many places, actually, they're not emphasized. The value system that we've adopted in the West is based on Christianity mostly, based on other things now, but it's about being loving, being kind, being gentle, being accepting, tolerant, etc., etc. And these are good values, right? These are one side of the coin. You might call these more feminine values. You might call them more receptive values. Men, of course, can have them as well. And then you have the masculine values of virtue, strength, determination. Those would be the more masculine values. Now let's go into the dark masculine values. These are the deepest source of male values. These are the wellspring from which it all flows, the spark that kindles the fire within you. As a man, you need to go down into those depths. You need to go down into those depths. Honor them. So what kind of values am I talking about? Dark masculine values. Number one, enforcement. Enforcement of standards, not only on yourself, but on other people around you as well. Number one, on yourself, but also on other people around you as well. Enforcement, being forceful. A lot of men in the modern world are just afraid to step into their authority. They feel that it's wrong to step into their inborn, inherent, biological authority as adult men. They've got a so-called bad conscience about it. And Christianity does have something to answer for here, but that's been way overlaid and way surpassed by the great feminization as well, and other things that have happened in society. But Balthus, enforcement of standards, behavior they expect from other people as well. It's not to say you have to be draconian and not allow people to make mistakes. We can all make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You sometimes overstep the line, and often it's accidental. But it's absolutely fine for people and other men to push back. I actually expect it and I appreciate it. Yeah, I wouldn't be as chiseled, and I wouldn't be continuing to chisel myself if I'd not had a lot of negative feedback from different people, coaches, teachers, friends. But this actually goes a little bit a step beyond that. This goes to enforcement of decency around you, decent behavior around you. If you see bullshit happening, the classic teenage kids acting like dickheads, what do? What do? You just turn the other way, you just look away. Look at the ground like a little coward. No, my friend, you don't do that. You go and have a word with them. Yeah, you go and say, what are you guys doing? You should be doing that. And most of the time, no, even if there's like 20 of them, most of the time they tend to back down. That's one classic example. But it could be adults as well, it often is. So I'm out here in Dominican Republic, and the atmosphere is a great atmosphere. I love the place. But you've got all sorts of people here. You've got some of the most polite, lovely, happy people here you could ever imagine. You've got some of the most hardcore business sharks here you could see anywhere in the world. And you've also got some of the most vulgar, rude people here, totally unconscious of anyone else in the world around them. You've also got that as well. And sometimes I find myself having to say things to people, because if I don't, I just feel like really bad behavior is going to continue. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday in the gym, I go to an early session in the gym, and it's 9 a.m. The owner of that gym is incredibly unprofessional. He's a sort of big Dominican guy, skinhead. He's got 2 pit bulls that he takes to the gym, and he cooks in the gym. He cooks his breakfast in the gym as well. All the equipment is shit. It's the worst, literally the worst gym I've ever been to. You think, why am I going? The only reason is it's on my street, so it's the easiest one. The next one is quite a way away. I'd have to get a taxi to it, so it's easy access. And I think that's why a lot of people in my area go. But it's an atrocious gym. Yeah, the weights don't even have the mass labeled on them, so you don't even know what you're lifting. So you're just guessing. You're like, yeah, that feels like about 18 or what. You're just guessing, right? Okay, the shit equipment aside, I don't mind. I'm not paying that much for it. But yesterday, I go in, the music's blazing, and bearing in mind I used to work in clubs, my ears are actually hurting. Yeah, it's ridiculously loud. I've never heard a gym with music that loud. That would have been a decent volume for a club. It was absurd, right? So already I'm kind of like, well, this is not great. I'm not going to complain about this. I'm going to get on with my workout, but this is not very considerate, is it? Anyway, I don't know who enjoys that level of music other than the owner. And as I'm going through my workout, at a certain point, one of these pit bulls comes over to me. I think I was doing bench press or some neck exercise or something. The pit bull comes over to me. No, his neck. I was doing some neck stuff. And the pit bull comes over to me. He's like trying to lick my ear. First time I just send it away. And then he comes again about 2 minutes later. So I stand up and I can see the owner there. So I shout over to him. I have to shout because the volume is so loud. I actually have to shout quite loud. Say, mate, your dog. What's your dog doing? He keeps on coming up to me. And then he doesn't really have a response. I say to him, this is a gym. What's the dog doing here? And again, he doesn't really have much of a response. I said, have you ever seen a dog in another gym? And he sort of mumbles something, right? And yeah, it was one of those things. It's like someone has to say, I think other people probably had thought the same, or maybe that day they were thinking the same. Certainly other people have made similar comments. I was like, I'm not having this anymore. Yeah, we're paying to come in here as clients. You're fucking pit bulls wandering around. Like, it's not acceptable. So you don't need to go and rant and rave and try and demean the guy or anything. But it was like, it was quite a pointed, almost conflictual moment, really. Like, mostly because of the volume. So I was actually shouting at the guy, and I was also pissed off as well. It was mostly because of the volume, though. So it comes across a bit more intense. But that would be a good example of enforcement. Yeah? Like, you're just not allowing something bullshit to happen. Yeah? You know, if you're in a restaurant, you're getting shit service. I let a few things slide. If it goes beyond a certain point, maybe this is a lesson for me, is to start not letting anything slide. But normally, I'm quite relaxed. I can't be bothered to get into things all the time, just out of saving energy. But at a certain point, it takes the piss, and that's when enforcement is important. So that was a good example with that gym owner, and that type of thing happens to me, especially in Dominican, on an almost daily basis. Something like that will happen because you've got this certain percentage of people who are just extremely rude. Like people in the queue, they'll just push straight in front of you and they won't think anything of it. So it's like, okay, my friend, no, not today, my friend. What are you doing? It's something you have to do as a guy. If you're not going to enforce, no one else is going to. Yeah, and that's something I think it's a very important thing for guys to start to step into, especially as you get into your manhood, into your 20s. You need to start like imposing yourself on your surroundings, not to be a bully, not the opposite, actually, the opposite, to make sure that things are decent and civil around you. Yeah? So that'll be the first one, enforcement, because that's a dark masculine value. The next one, doggedness. Doggedness. It's even more than determination. It's doggedness. Yeah, you get the bit between your teeth and you just keep going. You just keep going. I think I mentioned on a previous live a set I did about 2 weeks ago with a girl who side-eyed me when I first went over to her. She carried on walking and I walked with her, and I was just dogged. Like, love, I'm not going anywhere, you know, and stayed and sat with her. And I think she liked it. I think maybe it even turned her on. Then she gave me a number, and then she's been to see me a couple of times. And so many people viewing that, if you've seen that set, you probably say, Wing Bro, that's done on the open. She's finished on the open. I knew there was something there, so I was dogged. That applies in the macro as well. So being dogged across multiple approaches. Yeah, being dogged in general. Across, you know, don't just let your session, if you have 2 or 3 bad approaches, go and do a 4th and a 5th, especially if you're a beginner. Dogged and getting volume in as a beginner is super important. It's super important. In general, you're not going to achieve much unless you're dogged, okay? That just applies across life. It's not a fashionable thing to talk about. It's not strategy, it's not sophisticated. It's just been a dog. Next one. Let's go a little bit darker now. Vengeance. Vengeance. That's a dark masculine value. Being the sword of vengeance for wrongs that have been inflicted upon you or those around you. This comes from honor culture, right? It's something else most of the world does believe in honor culture. The West is sort of unfashionable. But I don't know, I feel like we've been made to believe it's unfashionable. I actually think most guys really do believe in it. Instinctively, you know that letting someone get away with fucking you over or doing something to you is not, you don't feel good about it. You don't feel good, you feel like you've bitched out. And again, I'm not talking about someone cutting you up in traffic. Okay, this is not being a chimp. This is not being a moron. Okay? But vengeance is important sometimes. That ultimately is what justice is based on. The justice system is a system of vengeance. Yeah? Why send someone to prison or to be executed for robbing someone or assaulting them? It's not rehabilitation. That's the influence of whatever has got into the system. Too many compassionate people in the system. Part of the prison sentence is vengeance for the people who are wronged. Let's not mistake what that is. And that's correct, and it's normal, and it's satisfying. We'll say revenge isn't satisfying. It is. It's probably people who've never got revenge on anything. Again, this is not something you should be doing on a daily, weekly, or even annual basis. There might be 2 or 3 times in your life where someone really, really does something wrong to you, intentionally, maybe even over a prolonged period of time. And this is actually where, this is one teaching with Christianity I don't agree with. So I'm Orthodox, but there's some aspects of Christianity that I don't agree with. One of them is this, is turn the other cheek. No, not happening, not happening. I prefer the Greco-Roman view on things on this front. Even the Islamic view on things. There is a school of thought in Orthodoxy that when Jesus says turn the other cheek, what he means is you don't turn the other cheek in this interpretation of it. It doesn't mean offer the other cheek to get slapped again. What it means is turn away from the cheek that has been stung and take the next step from the side of you which is cool and composed. And that's another interpretation from Orthodoxy. That is really the correct Orthodox interpretation to it. You know, whether that was what was meant by Nazareth, I don't know. Nazareth is a mysterious person. As well as being the Son of God. Some of the messages are mysterious. But this is one I don't agree with. So yeah, let's go with the Orthodox interpretation. I think it's the most healthy. You go from the cool side of things. I think that's also correct as well. So yeah, for example, I've had, just to talk about my own experiences, I've had this with a legal case that I had, and in no uncertain terms, the point of the case for me was vengeance on the guy, because the guy fucked me over. Yeah, genuinely fucked me over, but absolutely snaked me to a point. This is a guy I know for like more than 10 years as well. Wow, this guy is a fucking snake. This is an insane level snake. For something that it was an insurance thing, something would have cost him maybe 500 quid. Maybe. And the claim on my part was totally genuine, completely genuine. I don't have time for fucking bullshit insurance claims, for God's sakes. I've got better things to do. And yeah, this guy snaked me. Lied to the lawyers, lied to all sorts of things, lied to the police, all sorts of things, right? And took the guy to court. And actually, the first 3 lawyers I spoke to wouldn't take the case, but one lawyer took the case, and he was confident from the beginning. He said, I think we'll win. And yeah, I was diligent on that case. I supplied them really with all the details of the case, supplied them with tons and tons of images, and even emails and text correspondence from the guy. It was obvious. Realistically, it was obvious. But I won the case. The judge sided with me. It's interesting being in a court of law. It is actually a lot more dramatic than I thought. It was actually quite like it is in the films. The barrister, you know, those guys are very impressive intellect. The barrister knew the case. He knew the case as well as I knew it. And obviously I was a person who was in it. He knew it as well as I did. Like, as if he had a VR headset on. And we won the case. And it was, without any shadow of a doubt, an act of vengeance for me. First of all, to take him to court, like, no, my friend, you're not getting away with this. I'm going to take you all the way to court. Yeah. And then secondly, to actually go and win as well. Yeah. So it's an act of vengeance on my part. That's what the legal system is. I also put a curse on him as well. When I was living next to a Haitian work camp here, sort of work camp, like a labor camp here. Got a bit of voodoo in me. So vengeance is a very important value. there's one or two other instances I can think of. You know, as a kid, like reactive violence. I don't think it's the worst thing in kids to see. As you get older, that's not very intelligent. But yeah, there's one or two other instances I can think of, actually. And sometimes that vengeance can just be, there'll come a point, let's say there's people around you, family members, long-term business partners and things like that. There usually comes a point in people's lives where they need something from you. And depending on the scenario, you know, if you've been wronged a long time ago, you just keep that in your head. You just keep that on file. And then you wait. You just wait. Stay cool, just wait. Get on with your life. But when that moment comes, don't forgive, don't forget. That's when the knife comes out. Yeah. Bang. There you go, my friend. Think I forgot that? I didn't forget it. Yeah, it's very important. It's very important. And it's satisfying. That court case was actively satisfying. I think people don't, there is such a thing as vicious pleasure. Yeah. It's important as well. It's important. Yeah, people don't want to hear this though. People don't want to hear this. They want to hear love and light. And I understand that. That's very important as well. This is also important. You can't have light without dark. No? So the masculine value of vengeance. You don't want to live like that though, obviously. It's something, it's just there. And maybe hopefully never in your life. If you listen to this and go, Wingbro, what are you talking about? We're supposed to be talking about girls here. By the way, this is connected to women. But if you listen to this and you've never had this occasion, and this is not your reality, good. Don't try and get yourself into these situations. That's good. It means you've got good people around you. It means you've had good people around you. And this is very positive, right? Not everyone has that. Yeah, there's lots of different experiences of life. Some people have experiences where they do get totally fucked over by somebody. And yeah, I do not advise the turn the other cheek, you know, I advise the barbarian approach to this. Luz, sí, puedo hablar español. Yeah, but it's an English channel, love. So, yeah, that's the value of vengeance. So we've covered doggedness, we've covered enforcement, and we've covered vengeance. All of those things play into the last one I'll say is possessiveness as well. Possessiveness over women. This has been demonized. Something sick, or, you know, there's different types of possessiveness. There's naturalistic, barbarian possessiveness, and there's insecure, little puss boy possessiveness. There's two totally different types of possessiveness. Yeah, the good type of possessiveness is you see your woman as yours. She belongs to you. Her body belongs to you. Her soul belongs to you. Es mine. Tú eres mía. Mi propiedad. I think guys don't realize how turned on women are by this. This is like that. You don't do it for that reason. This is their maximum turn on. When a man gets so deep into his instincts, he wants to possess her, right? Completely possess her. This is actually normal, by the way. This is actually normal around the world. But then the other side to it is where guys become jealous and petty. A bit of jealousy, actually. Again, don't listen to people say, oh, you never have to be. A little bit of jealousy can actually add a bit of spice into relationships. A little bit of jealousy. The negative side, the puss boy side, is where the guy, you know, he can't take that his girlfriend, I don't know, goes out for a drink or something. Or his girlfriend breaks up with him and he goes round to a house and he sits outside a house in the car with the lights on. Things like that, no, that's crossing a line. That's way crossing a line. Because you're there going into coercion. You're not allowing another person to have their autonomy, which is not acceptable at all. That is the real puss boy level of possessiveness. If a girl starts to drift on you, all you do is you just drift further than her. She starts to drift, you just start to drift even more. And they soon come back. And if they don't, there was nothing anyway. So yeah, possessiveness as well. Violence, simulated violence. That's what a lot of sexual pleasure is. A lot of it is simulated violence. Simulated. The stuff I can't talk about online, obviously. I don't want to risk like having a channel taken down or anything. But how deeply this plays into women's fantasies. Goodness knows how many times I've talked about this just with friends. If you want to read a little bit more about that, there was an essay I wrote about this on Substack for my under my writing name, Joe Blake. I'll put the link in below actually. If you're interested in the deeper principles behind what I'm talking about, where it comes from in our ancestral past, our DNA, I'll put the link below. If you're interested, you can go and check that out. They'd rather be controlled by a prick maniac than be with a puss boy. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of Muslim guys have this controlling maniac boyfriend kind of thing. And actually a lot of girls do like it. I do think though, to me, there's a line that's crossed there. There's a line that's crossed. Yeah, and maybe that's still me being a little bit too Christian about things though. It's something I've seen that in close quarters in my own family, and it's something I just don't like, you know. So like taking away another person's autonomy. Like for example, a guy locking a girl in her room or something like that. Stuff that guys, or even like rape, for example. Or yeah, like there was a girl I dated. She's on the island actually, Ori, the Oreo cookie, and she told me a story. Her sister was murdered by her sister's ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. They were married. He was a baseball player, and he got into cocaine. And she separated from him. She left him. And one day he came over and hit her with a baseball bat in the head and killed her. I can't even imagine what kind of a death that would have been. I mean, that's one of the most horrifying deaths imaginable, right? If you can imagine the physique of a Dominican baseball player, they're a different fucking breed, mate. Strong is not even in it. It's totally bestial level of strength. And he hits her with a baseball bat, and he's a professional baseball player. Obviously killed her. Why? Because, you know, that's the level that it can go to. That's the level it can go to. But it obviously doesn't need to go to that level, but I don't like that level of coercion. You have to learn as a guy, just let the girl go. Let the girl go, move on to the next one. Or just, if she drifts, you drift as well. But yeah, you are right though. She would rather be controlled by a prick maniac than be with a pussy. Oh, there's a few girls in Bosnia that I approached who had like crazy Muslim boyfriends and stuff like that. A lot of girls get off on it, they like it. Yeah, it's definitely a fine line. You want to lean as far into that as you can, but personally, I won't go beyond a certain line. I won't go into like hardcore coercion and stuff like that. I'm not into it. It's not my thing. So yeah, control, possession, sexual possession. I talk about it in my essay. It's a feature in the book that I wrote, Blood and Bronze. But the essay clarifies it a bit more. It's a short essay, it's an easy one to read. So yeah, dark masculine virtues, dark masculine characteristics. There is a natural link between sexuality and violence. The link is absolutely there. Sexual submission and dominance as well. Women are natural subs, basically. There's this Jungian idea of the anima and the animus. It's like a woman inside her has also, as well as femininity, has also got this very male side inside her, which is confrontational and angry and aggressive. And a man inside him has got this very soppy, soft beta male inside him, right? And it's called, in the man it's called the anima with an A, in the woman it's called the animus with the US. And the idea is those things can actually take control of you. So like if you become a beta simp, your anima has taken control of you, your feminine side has taken control of you. And if the woman becomes a boss bitch, her anima side has taken control of her. I think there's definitely something in that. But as a man, naturally, your anima should be more powerful than hers, right? It will be, in fact. You could pretty much steamroller them. And women do respond to force, like forceful men. They just do. You know, it's in our nature, right? We are drawn up from the barbarian past, in which everything is a fight for survival. And in some human groups, on average, the female lineage is 17 times more people than the male lineage, meaning that one man fucked 17 different women, and 16 men didn't reproduce. So that's how harsh competition has been at times for men. The tournament ape model of mating, and that is the majority of our history. It's about a 3-to-1 ratio, between 2 and 3 to 1. So one man having children with 2 to 3 women. That's actually the law of the jungle. So if you feel you're a natural playboy, you want to have a harem naturally, you can actually have feeling for multiple women, and you can easily handle it. It's not surprising. It's in your DNA. It's in all of our DNA, realistically. However, we don't have to follow everything our DNA says. Like reactive violence, for example, is in our DNA. We don't have to follow that. So it's like hypergamy as well. Yeah, there's a little bit of that in female DNA, but there's other things in there as well. There's they're bonding hormones. And the more you bang a girl, the more bonded she is to you, right? Obviously, because her body thinks she could be pregnant, obviously. So, yeah, the modern world, for many centuries in Europe, you know, marital norms were a way of actually preserving civilization. You know, so that men don't all go inseminating every woman around, and more men actually get to reproduce, which actually gets them more invested in civilization itself. It's an interesting model, very effective model. Anthony, chingate, maricón, sale mi cadena, pendejo. Come on, fucking channel, you dumbass. This is how I deal with people on my channel. It's not democracy, my friends. Goodbye. You don't like it, peace. It's a small subset of guys who are interested in this type of stuff. A very, very small subset. I think it's about 3% of guys. It's like guys who are thoughtful, but they also feel this. They're thoughtful, sensitive, but they've also got this aggressive testosterone in them as well. This is not a meathead channel. So sorry, mate, you're out. So civilization balances those two forces, right? Marriage balances that male aggression, that female hypergamy. It kind of works. But yeah, so anyway, so those are some of the darker male virtues. And really what they suggest is they suggest protection, man. On an instinctive base level, it's protection for the woman. On an instinctive level, it's protect you. Sometimes women will do stupid things just to see if their boyfriend will protect them. That's definitely a thing. Not all women are into that. Some women are not, but it's very common. It's very common. Yeah, if you're not willing to protect your girlfriend, then I would say you got an issue, my friend. You're not willing to take a bullet for your girlfriend. I think you got an issue. She probably shouldn't be your girlfriend. You wouldn't take a bullet for her. Yeah. She should be willing to die for you as well. She should be willing to visit you in prison for 20 years or die for you as well. That's the level it's got to go to, man. All else is folly. All else is just passionless, colorless indifference, man. So, yeah, let's turn around and maybe see if anyone wants to ask any questions. We've got nice restaurants over here behind. It's a nice place to come for a date. I took the half Dominican, half Chinese girl over to one of these. A bit pricey, but still good going. And yeah, got this whole colonial area in the backgrounds here. There we go, Columbus himself. And then on this, look at that horrible factory there. This is progress, boys. This is progress. It does make me wonder in the future, like, you know, like if we have a thermonuclear war, we go back to the Stone Age. I actually do think there will be some good features of going back to the Stone Age, and there'll be a lot of bad features as well. That's horrible, isn't it? My God. They could have put it somewhere else, man. It's a corruption in Dominican. It's a very corrupt country, which has a lot of good points. Corruption has a lot of good points. It also has some bad points, though. Oh, this is the last virtue, actually. It's gangsterism. The last virtue is gangsterism. Brotherhood and gangsterism. A gang is just a bunch of guys with mutual interest, right? Who form a brotherhood and assist each other, and are willing to go that extra mile, and they go outside of institutions. They go outside of institutions. They're not, you know, private lenders and things like that. You know, the favelas, if you've got an issue, you're probably not going to get it solved by the police, but the lord of the favela, he might solve it for you. That might be my scream name next year if I move to the barrio, which I'm actually considering doing. King of the barrio. But yeah, gangsterism, groups, brotherhoods. It's too much. Western people just don't understand this. And then, yeah, I mean, you know, Sir Tate has talked about it, that, you know, what Arabs do and Chinese do when they come to the UK. They move in together, they pool resources, families, friends, and then they win. They get houses together, they get wives, and that's how they win. Meanwhile, we're all here in these difficult economies trying to scramble just to survive on our own. It's obviously the way we're raised, but I think actually now the economy is so, it's been so hijacked. We can still do very well, but I think the more we can work in gangs and groups, the more we can have each other's back, we're all gonna win. It's not like you have to follow somebody and then take your orders like in the mafia. No, it's you all gonna win together. You'll all win together. That's what actually happens. And yeah, I mean, that's just on this point, a friend of mine's in Santo Domingo Este over there. He's from the UK, Luis. He's born here. Well, I met him in the UK, but he lives in Spain. And I dated one of his daughters. He's got 6 daughters. I told this story in a different chat, a different live. I went over to see him on Sunday, and I can see he's remodeling his house. The last tenant that was there completely wrecked his house, totally fucking destroyed it. And it's his personal house, which he literally built with his own hands. The guy's built half of his area. I went over, hung out with him. I could see he loves being back here as well, as you would. Pamplona, Spain is fairly boring compared to Dominican Republic. And so I saw all the work it needs to be done. He's here on his own. It's like It's like, you know, the Ernest Hemingway book, The Old Man and the Sea. It's the guy's like that. He's like this kind of little wrinkled old dude, but strong as a fucking ox. And like, you know, that burnt Dominican skin, burnt orange skin. And I go over, I see what the fuck's happened to his house, and I'm like, man, I'm pissed off for you, mate. I'm pissed off for you. It's not fucking acceptable. And yeah, it was by his stepdaughter as well. His stepdaughter's sons lived there, and they completely fucking wrecked the place. Anyway, so we're talking about it. You know, we talk about how much it's going to cost to redo, and he tells me how much it's going to cost. And I think about it for a couple of days, and I'm like, nah, this is not acceptable. I'm not letting that old man. He basically doesn't have any money. He's on a pension in Spain. He's got an apartment in Spain. And just to pay for that alone and survive the month in Spain, it costs all of his pension basically. So he's back here, and he's not been back for years, and he just wanted to come back to see the state of his old house, see if he can do it up himself. And it's way too much for one person to do. He doesn't even have the equipment to do it all himself. But because he used to be a builder, he knows exactly what the fuck needs to be done. So he gave me a price. He just said the price. I was like, okay, fine. So I went away and thought about it for a couple of days. I was like, and it was bugging me. It was bugging me. I was like, I can't. This guy, his daughter is one of the best assets that I've ever had. No, she's the best, to be honest. She's the best. The reason I didn't stay with her was because she already had a son, and I just didn't want to. That was the main reason, anyway. I think also we're still wanting to travel, but she was an amazing asset. She helped me with so many things in business, so many different things. I just like her and her son and her dad. I was like, no, I'm not having this, not having this. So yeah, went yesterday, got some money out, and just messaged him today. I was like, yeah, I've got this much money. It's not everything he needs, but it's like half of what he needs. It's a decent amount of money. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. And worst case scenario, even if he can't pay me back, I can just go and live in his house in the barrio for 6 months. There we go. I think it's also got his children into gear a little bit. He's got 6 children, and they weren't going to give him anything. It's like, you know, Joseph, one of your daughter's exes, has given him like half the money. So I think it may have kicked them into gear as well. And yeah, I mean, it could be good for me as well. So it's like we're better off working as teams, as brotherhood, as mafia, basically, as gangsters. Yeah. Gangsters get a bad rep. I'm not talking about doing crime. I'm actually just talking about not going through bureaucratic fucking systems. If I get this place as well, if that's what ends up happening, then people can come out here and stay with me as well. Clients can come out, guys who want to come and film and wing with me can come out as well. I'll actually have basically essentially free accommodation for people. As long as you're willing to come to the barrio, which would be fucking amazing. It would be an absolute experience of a lifetime as well. So, yeah, but that's an example of brotherhood, right? So that's a genuine example of brotherhood. Yeah, or my own brother, when I was in Salvador de Bahia, and I got robbed and I couldn't get access to my accounts. He sent me $2,000 just on Western Union. Had to go to the middle of the fucking shittest part of it. It's such a shit part of the city. So fucking ropey to Western Union. And then get this cash out and then live off that cash for a month or two until my bank got sorted out. So that's what it is, man. And this is actually the benefit of guys who've got a lot of brothers and sisters, especially got a lot of brothers. You know, like think about Tate on his own. He wouldn't be doing that much on his own, man. His brother is a big asset to him. Massively underrated is how much of an asset his younger brother is. Massive asset, dude. Massive asset. 2 of you doing something of the same blood. You're basically a Hydra with 2 heads. Massive asset. So guys get siphoned off too easily. Yeah, I've got some good brothers definitely alongside me, and I think we can take the brotherhood to an even greater level, man. Over time, you know, who knows? We buy a fucking compound, man. I'm not even joking. Buy a compound somewhere. Could be interesting. Yeah. So yeah, conspiracy, gangsterism, and brotherhoods. That's another part of dark masculinity, but it's very important. And without it, you're just a sitting duck. You're just paying all your rent to fucking BlackRock, so those cons can get all your cash for their investment. You're paying through the nose. You're paying the governments through the nose. You're dating a three you fucking found on Tinder. She's getting spaffed up by someone else, and you're paying for it. And then even that kid's getting a sex change as well. Or converting to Islam. No, we need a brotherhood, man. We need the Knights Templar to return. That's gonna be a project in my 50s. I'm gonna keep going, dude. I'm 40. I've got this decade to do this stuff. And Blood and Bronze and Wing Bro is gonna be a priority for the next few years for sure. Keep bringing you guys content. So we didn't talk too much about women today. This was more about honor and about dark male values. But suffice to say, all of this stuff, to put it very simply, it makes women feel safe. It makes women feel safe. And it also lets them know as well, they're not to trifle with you either. You don't need your buttons pushed on a daily basis by women, yeah? It doesn't mean you have to draconianly rule over them every minute of the day. But there should be boundaries. There should be boundaries. People who have these relationships where the girls, it's this drama and the girl hassles them and nags them and stuff like that. I understand how that can happen, and when that has happened to me once or twice, and it's because I've been afraid to lose the girl. It's because I've been afraid to lose the girl. The girl was just incapable of, in those two cases, the girl was just incapable of being a mature adult. Was holding me responsible for happiness, which is not my responsibility. And because of just not the best option, it's not the place I'm in now. It's not that my options are bad, but it was like, it's more work to go out there again. And then one girl, she to be fair, she had the best body I've ever seen to this day. It was like shooting heroin. So I was weak for that a little bit. Not totally, but I got drawn into some arguments. I still said to her, like, I can replace you and I will leave you. But actually, those were things I should have exited early. You don't need to, I found that the more, especially after cold approach, daytime approach, I know my options are just like absolutely vast. So I don't need to tolerate anything really. And also select for a girl who doesn't give me any bullshit at all. And just on the very odd occasion something comes up, just shut it down straight away. Hey, we're not doing this. Do not raise your voice at me, ever. And I'll take you back to your mum's house and that's it. I'll delete you from my phone. It doesn't need to be, it can be cold like that, but they get turned on by it, man. They get turned on by it. They need it. Yeah, the ovaries need to be inseminated by that kind of strength. So this all sounds like, I don't know, it's like sounds a bit overly. No, it doesn't actually, but it sounds like I'm trying to be, Mr. Alpha here. But these are really just traditional, normal values of that are inherent in your biology, and I'm just giving them expression. I'm just putting words to them. And women know it as well, man. Women know it as well. There's a lot of women fanatical for Islam, dude. Women who will live in harems as well. And other women are like, oh, I wouldn't be happy. Yeah, you would. If you were getting fucked by that guy and you were in love with him, you would. And he was so strong that, like, he had all these other girls around him and he could handle the whole lot easily. You'd stay with him. I'm not saying civilization can really manage that way, but yeah, this is human nature, man. So women need this stuff, man. But women definitely get turned on by this. I think we all know this on some level. And I think women who have been neglected by men in their lives, their fathers particularly, which had weak fathers or in weird cultures where they're out of control, they're not properly held accountable. They don't feel masculine force around them. Their own lack of logic rules their life too much, and they never have real pushback on it. There's so many feminized men out there these days who mentally orientate themselves as women, even if they go to the gym and all this. They're mentally orientated as women. It's bizarre, dude. But they've not had that strong feedback from guys. That's when they want to become the boss bitch. That's when they want to take control. And even in the bedroom sometimes as well. It's a girl I was with the other day. I think she'd been that. In retrospect, I think something's happened to that girl in her past. She was trying to control the sexuality to a point it was ridiculous. And yeah, it was I let it happen because I was like, if this girl's so into this, fine. But there was something very strange about it. Like she was actually afraid to submit to my power, basically. It's interesting. She was like highly sexed as well. So it's strange scenario. But I would say she'd probably been, if I had to guess, I'd say she's had a bad sexual experience. Maybe not a sexual assault, but maybe an experience where the guy was too aggressive or something like that. I don't know. Something was up with her sexuality. So women who don't have this in themselves and don't crave this in men, usually something's happened to them. Or they're American, in which case they're basically gay men. So, yeah, but I think even most American chicks dig this as well, deep under the surface. So yeah, boys, we'll leave things there. We'll maybe just walk around a little bit for a minute. Just take you guys around the square a little bit. There's been many dates on these benches here. Kizomba dancing down here as well, in the ruins here. So yeah, I will say adios, boys. We'll say adios to Christopher Columbus here. And I'll catch you boys in the next one. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you guys out on the island here at some point in the next year or two. Take it easy, boys.